Hello everyone. So today I wanted to talk about paper. We have talked about a few pens, we have talked about a few inks, and now I think it's time to start talking about some real good quality paper, which I really like. So today I'm going to be talking about this paper here, which is the Midori cotton paper. This is a very nice textured paper. It's slightly off-white, it's not exactly white, and I really love it for that reason. It doesn't stand out like plain copy machine paper would. It's very delicate and it has that slightly textured feel when you touch it and when you write on it, and I really appreciate this paper. And I wanted to not only talk about it but review it in terms of writing samples, and I wanted to use different styles of pens because each pen obviously has its own vibe and feel, and I chose three pens with three slightly different nibs. So we have a Twisby Diamond 580, which is a stainless steel nib, which is very stiff. It's not flexible at all, and it's really smooth. Like, it's probably the smoothest of the nibs that I have tried. Maybe the Pelican M150 is a touch smoother, but this is up there with it, and I didn't want to have two Pelicans because I wanted to have completely different pens. So I chose this one. Then I chose my M400, the Sovereign M400 from the 80s, which has a gold nib and slightly elastic. And then my faithful Omas 556S, which has a 14 karat gold nib, which is extremely flexible and pleasant to write with. And also in terms of inks, I wanted to have different types. So I have Mont Blanc inks in these two pens and guitar ink in the Omas. Let's start with the Twisby so we can get an idea of how this pen feels with a sort of less sophisticated and although very good quality, obviously, nib. And this is a pen which is around, and a lot of people have them, so you can basically have a better understanding of how the pen feels. So let's start by writing in the pen. So it is really smooth to write on this paper, but it's not as smooth as, let's say, a Rhodia sheet of paper. It has a texture to it, and I think it's the cotton fibers that are integrated in this sheet of paper that make it feel a little bit less smooth, but at the same time really, really pleasant. It's not the kind of paper that you can't write with a very fine point. It's still very refined and still very high quality feeling, but it has a slight texture and I really love it for it. It's not that kind of paper that lets you doesn't let you feel what you're doing like a Rhodia. Rhodia is really, really smooth, and I prefer it with a little less smooth pen. This paper here is perfect for every kind of pen. Like I really adore it, and I write my letters on this paper. Whenever I write a letter, I use this paper because I really love the feel of it, and people can tell, I think people can tell that it's a high quality paper. And it's also peculiar because it has one of the corners that's cut at a 45-degree angle. So you get a corner that's uneven, and that, in my opinion, makes it a little peculiar and makes people wonder maybe what is this guy writing on, like what kind of paper is this. And I think this is a really good quality paper that you can write your letter on, although it's you can draw on it and you can do whatever you want, obviously. So let's move on to the Pelikan M400. The Pelikan M400 has a fine nib just like the TWSBI, but it's a gold nib and it's slightly elastic, and I have a different ink in it. So let's see how this one writes. Wow, slightly more difficult to write with this one. I have to get a grip with it. Okay, no, it's still okay, it's still very smooth, but if you have some feedback on the nib, which this pen obviously has, as we talked about in a previous video, this paper will let you know that you're writing. It's not as smooth as Rhodia, and yeah, but it's not unpleasant. It's definitely not unpleasant to write with the Pelikan. You just have to be more like the P. I can't get it right. I wrote Pelikan. You just have to be a little more aware. As you can see, my handwriting is not perfect with this combination of paper and pen, and that's the beauty, in my opinion, of this hobby. Like you don't always get exactly what you're expecting. I thought that this paper and this pen would be a great match, but apparently it's slightly more difficult to write with this pen on this paper than I would have expected, and it's okay, you know. It doesn't have to be always perfect. I wouldn't write on this paper with this pen. On the other hand, with the TWSBI, I think it's a perfect combination. Let's see how it does with the Omas nib. This is a really smooth nib. It has feedback. A little hard start. I haven't written with this pen for a while, so let's start over. Okay, no problem whatsoever with this pen, even in the weird directions. This is obviously the flexible nib of the bunch, and as you can see, no problem whatsoever. Like, this pen and paper seem like they have been conceived to write together. Let's try it again. I'll write the ink. Guitar Antique Black. Obviously I'm leaving marks everywhere because this pen is really wet, but as you can see, the handwriting comes out perfect, and I don't see any issue. I would have expected that with this Pelican I would have had a similar result, but apparently the Omas is the one that has the better balance between feedback and smoothness for this paper. So in my opinion, oh my god, I made a mess with the ink. This is a very wet pen ink combination, especially if you're using the flexibility of the nib. Yeah, so the recommendation is to wait, like to take your time if you're writing with a wet pen ink combination. Take your time when you're writing on this paper because it takes a while to absorb the ink. Obviously, we are talking about a very fine paper. It's not a 90 gram per square meter or anything. It's a really fine paper, but although it is really fine, and another thing that I haven't talked about, it's glued on two sides because it lets you can write on this pad even if you're standing up, because it leaves a lot of it doesn't, the pages don't just get separated easily, and the bottom has a very thick layer of cardboard, so you can just actually really stand up and write as if you had one of those pads that are meant to be used standing up. What I was saying previously is that if we detach this sheet, you can see that even if I applied a lot of pressure, even if the paper is very thin, the ink doesn't go through. It doesn't go through it. The paper will absorb, it won't absorb the ink. It will let the ink dry, and it will not go through the paper, and it will not do any kind of feathering or anything. This paper, I don't know how the Japanese have achieved this level of quality on their paper, but it amazes me every time that I write. Like, you literally can like go insane, crazy with the wetness and all. It won't go through. The ink will not go through. And this is a really good aspect of this paper, which I really love. I honestly like this pen and paper combination. I had never used the Omas on this paper, but now I think I'm going to start writing my letters with this pen on this paper, because I really feel that this match is made in heaven. It's really amazing. If you check what I just did, the paper is still wet. It doesn't dried yet, as you have seen previously. Like you can you can be sure it's not dry yet. So when you write with a wet pen ink combination, you want to wait a little bit after every sentence that you write, especially if you're left-handed like me, like you go spilling the ink all over the page. So this is my review of this beautiful paper pad, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you very much for watching, and see you on the next one.